All right. Good morning, everybody. This is Quincy M. Jackson coming at you again with another episode of Leading Daily. Happy Sunday to you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Hope you had a fantastic last week. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. And I hope that whatever you're doing is also not only one reviewing the week that you had to make sure that you don't repeat the same errors that you had this prior week, but also I hope that you are planning and preparing for the week that you have coming ahead so that you can be more successful, more effective, and actually become a better leader. Obviously, it's always about your team, your family, and whoever it is that you lead and impact on an everyday basis. So I'm excited to have a chance to talk to you today just for a few moments about what leaders study and why leaders study certain things. And so you're going to really get a lot out of this video. I know I've gotten a lot out of just thinking about it. I've gotten a lot out of just putting myself in the right frame of mind, preparing for this particular talk. And I hope that you enjoy it just as much as I do. As always, I want to ask you to like the video, drop a heart, if you will, just to let me know that you're there. And also let me know in the comments where you're watching from, if it's in the United States, if it's in another country. Let me know where you are so that I know how I can further connect with you and maybe even connect with you one day in person, wherever you are in your hometown and in your area. So one thing I want to actually say is that we have a lot of things coming up in the horizon. So I'm really excited about. We have a challenge coming up here in the next few weeks as we get closer to the new year. So if you're looking to connect with other people just like you who maybe don't have a organized leadership development program within your company, within your current organization, and you want to grow and get to the next level, you definitely want to stay on the lookout for that. So make sure that you subscribe so that you can know firsthand when that drops and you can be a part of it. Okay. The second thing we have going on is we're going to expand our reach through writing. So if you haven't watched any of my videos and you may not know, I do carry with me a leadership commonplace book, which is what I call it, but it's really just a journal that I use every single day to not only document my thoughts around subject of leadership, but also as I'm growing, as I'm learning, as I'm studying, I want to make sure that I have a single place that I can go back to for reference when I want clarity or refreshing of ideas that haven't not only helped me become a better leader, but things I need to practice so that I can continue to grow in my leadership development journey. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to not that's like one of the first things that leaders do, and one of the things that leaders do is they write, they document what they do, even if it's through videos, even if through audios. Some people will say, well, I know this entrepreneur, I know this leader, and they say they don't do any writing. Well, they do other forms and means of documentation so that they learn fast and don't repeat the same errors and mistakes over and over. Okay. So if you're not already doing something on a day-to-day basis that requires your attention to gather information to help you be better, then you're missing out on valuable knowledge that's already out there in the world, in the social sphere that you already find yourself in. Okay, so make sure you take advantage of those things that are already at your disposal. So, what do I want to talk about today? So, as always, I go straight to the thing that I've already always gone to, which is once again my commonplace journal. Okay, so I want to tell you today about one of the things that leaders do is they make sure that they constantly put themselves around higher level leaders. Okay, so if you're somebody that's already making, let's say, right at let's say less than $100,000 a year. Okay, if you're making less than that, the best thing that you can do is be around as much as you can leaders that are well above the $100,000 level, and if not possible to get in close proximity to them physically, Do your absolute best to get around people that are at least in the positions that you currently seek within your next promotion or within the next two promotions of the position that you desire. So if you work for many of these large companies like the Amazons, the Walmarts, the Targets, UPS, FedEx, all of these different companies, they probably don't have a leadership program in place to help with your development. And that's okay. What you need to do is you need to do your best, and this is more time, not on the clock. You can't do this when you're in the function of your job on the day-to-day operation. Do your best to get around people that are either your boss or your boss's boss to find out what are some simple things that they did to get where they are. Try to figure out how you can do them and make sure that you're doing your own due diligence outside of that to foster your mindset that is for higher levels of leadership. You know, you can work, we talked about this before, you can work hard, and through hard work, a lot of people have success because they stand out amongst a crowd of people that are performing at a very low, almost lazy like level. Okay. I don't know, I'm not talking to you, and they know that you're not that person because you're watching this video. However, your hard work alone is not going to be the thing that gets you to where you want to be. Okay. It has to be working on the right things. So you've probably heard of the statement, work smarter, not harder. Well, that's partly true, but the best thing that you can do is work right, which is what is that is working hard and that's working smart. You put the two together, and then all of a sudden you have this new fresh approach to why you're working so hard, and that you're working hard on the correct things. There's nothing worse, in my opinion, one of the worst feelings in the world is working hard with your ladder leaning up against the wrong wall. Okay. I'll say that again. There's nothing worse, there's not a worse feeling. One of the worst feelings is working hard and your ladder is leaning up against the wrong wall. Right. So just imagine for a second that you have two walls in front of you. Okay. Excuse me, two ladders. You have to decide on one. But and then once you get into up that one, you have to go through a door to go to the next ladder. Well, many people climb ladders in corporate America, especially for years, but it's the wrong ladder, and they actually don't realize it until after they've actually climbed that ladder and gotten into that position. I've done that, so I know that that's not an uncommon thing for people to experience. How do you avoid that? Well, you have to get around the right people and learn from what they've done, and just see if that's something that you even want to do. So you might have a desire to make more income and be in a certain position because you know that that position generates so much income for that level. But what if that's not the right company? What if that person is not actually as happy as they seem and actually is not as fulfilling as you actually once thought? Okay. So now you can actually change the course of that position once you get into it, but just do your due diligence and get the information that's right there at your hand versus ignoring the opportunity, and then you get into a position that you absolutely hate. Okay, so I want to help you avoid that by doing that. All right. Next, I want to talk about the art of being wise. Okay. So, what is wisdom? I probably talked about this on another video, but I can't talk about it too much because leading with wisdom is what is my thing. That's what I do, and that's kind of who I am. So, I want to always be leading with wisdom. So, the art of being wise is the art of knowing what you should overlook. So, wisdom doesn't come from just having information, having read a book, having gone to a seminar, having gone to a class, having taken a course. That's not how wisdom occurs. The person that's teaching you, hopefully, depending on who they are, they have wisdom. But how do you acquire wisdom? Well, first it starts with understanding that ignorance begins ignorance is the prerequisite to wisdom. Okay. So before you become wise, you start from a place of ignorance, and then you not only you go from ignorance to the accumulation of information, and then through that information you develop knowledge. So knowledge actually happens when you assimilate the information, and then now that you understand it, which is the next part we're going to get into, you can actually have understanding from that. But wisdom doesn't come about until you actually apply, or the application of knowledge and understanding that gives you the wisdom. So have you ever heard somebody say, I know something? In many cases, what I found is that a person that says that usually is only repeating that they have heard information, but they haven't applied it. Therefore, they don't really understand, and they don't have the wisdom that comes along with that knowledge. Look at a person's results. So a person might say, and I might say, let's say, I know that eating healthy and exercising creates a better life and builds a better body. But then if you see me eating poorly, if you see me not exercising, and if you see me not putting the right things into my body that creates a better and stronger body, then it would be smart and wise of anybody that's watching my actions to say, well, he must not know. So if I don't know, then that means I'm ignorant. If I do know, that means I'm choosing to dismiss the information as not being accurate. Therefore, I'm putting myself at risk of being failure, or being a failure, or failing more and more frequently. Okay. Now, here's what a lot of people get tripped up when it comes to information that they gather or hear or acquire over the course of time when they're answering different questions. And this applies to leadership. So, pretty much, I want you to really pay attention to this, okay? The petty and the mundane things of our lives steal a lot of our time. And then a lot of people, as you know, are living for the wrong things. So, if you ask yourself with the question, if you could live your life over again, what would you do differently? And some people would say they wouldn't do anything differently because they wouldn't be in the position they are to have and they wouldn't have had the experiences that they have. But I think that the people that have come and gotten to a position where it's very noteworthy, they would say that they would probably put first things first more often and create that habit sooner, so that it's not with a higher sense of urgency later on down the line. So put first things first. Okay, so that's one thing that leaders do, and what they study putting things in the correct priority. Okay, if if you can't prioritize things the right way, then what's going to happen is you're going to have to prioritize them in the time that it wasn't necessarily the highest priority. So doing the first things first gives you the time to do the things that are going to be more meaningful with the little time that you may have later on at your disposal. Now, this definitely something that a lot of people in the elderly age have spoken about for many years, and many conversations they had. They would say, if you can live your life over again, what would you do differently? I would reflect more. I would take more risk. I would actually venture out and be more adventurous, because when you can't do those things physically, obviously, then mentally, those are some of the things that you must think about every single day and all the time, if not quite frequently throughout the day. So leaders s- do things like that now, and then they lead that way with their teams and their organizations, so that they can not only win while they have the energy, the stamina, and the endurance to do so, but they can reflect on and look back and say, I'm happy, I'm proud of myself, and I'm so thrilled that I did those things not only when I had the chance to do them, but I didn't let off and not do them when the moment and opportunity was right in front of me. So those were some of the things that I've just discovered in my studyings and my dealings and in my execution and experiences of how I have tried my best to become a better leader and continue to try my best to be a better leader every single day. You know, so how can you what are some things that you can do right now that you probably haven't been doing? That's something that you should think about and ask yourself, right? And first thing you should do is just look at how you've been spending your days, the last day, the last week, the last month, and be critical enough to make adjustments, but don't be so hard on yourself that you just consider yourself a failure, loser, and so on and so forth. And I don't think that's you because, once again, I know the type of people that watch this type of content, and it's usually the type of person that has some sense of self worth and self value as related to what I'm saying. So, what I want to encourage you to do is, after you take a look at what you've been doing, realize that most leaders at the very high level, they don't indulge in things that don't to get them closer to whatever goal that they have set for themselves. So come back to that particular point. All leaders study how to be more effective in achieving the things that they've set out to achieve. You know, it's one thing to have a goal set and hit it. It's another thing to have a goal set, miss it, and become someone different because you went after that goal. All right, that was really good. I'll say that again. So it's one thing to have a goal set and then hit it. It's another thing to have a goal set, miss it, and still become someone better as a result of going after that goal. And that is what all leaders do, and that is what leaders constantly study to do. And they execute, they miss. They take some information, learn from it so that they can correct, and then hit, get the actual goal that they set out to achieve. Okay. So that's one of the major things I wanted to have on this video. And then I wanted to also tell you guys about some things that we got going on this week. We are very excited. Like, I'm always putting myself around people that's studying and that's leading and trying to and wanting to execute at a higher level. So what I'm going to be doing this week is connecting with fellow entrepreneurs and leaders in their industry to learn how they can grow not only their teams, their businesses, but also their impact in the world and the industries that they work in. Second thing we have going on, we're going to be more strategic with the videos that we put out this week so that we can not only get the visibility, but we can interact with you in more of a live and real time. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to shift our live videos to the evening times on Monday, on Wednesday, and then Thursday. And we're probably going to come back on Saturday morning, right around the exact same time here. So just get ready for that. It's probably going to be after work, so probably like 6 o'clock Mountain Time, which is 5 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Central, and then 8 o'clock Eastern. Okay, those are going to be the evening times that we're going to go live on Monday or tomorrow, which is the 4th, and then we're going to go live again on the Wednesday, which is the 6th, Thursday, which is the 7th, and then Saturday, which is the 9th. Okay, and I'll schedule these out so you can always subscribe, get your notifications, and you see those things pop up in your feed whenever we do go live, and we put those out for the public in the next few days. All right. So please be ready for that. The next thing we have going on, if you haven't already done so, we'd like you to download our latest ebook, The Big Six, and it's the biggest mistakes that most leaders make when they're trying to earn the next promotion. If you haven't already done so, I'm going to actually drop a link right over here so that you can actually download that for the future. It's very quick read, but it goes into details about some of the skills that you want to actually develop. And it's very simple when it comes to earning your next promotion. Okay, I talk about these a lot, but in the book, I really went into a lot more detail about what you can do so that you can practice these things on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so let me copy this and paste it here. So go there now, download your ebook. Going to ask you for some simple information, and then that's going to actually give you a chance to download the ebook, and then we're going to just start a very simple email subscription with you so we can give you some more information going forward. Okay, which brings me to my next point. We're also going to be doing about weekly or twice a week emails around these exact subjects as well, but in more detail. Now, it's not going to be long emails. My goal is not to bombard your email more than it may already be, but I wanted to give you something to look forward to that's organized, that's clear, that you can check and balance yourself as it relates to how well you're developing your leadership ability around the core leadership skills that will help you earn your next promotion, help you grow your team, help you become just better as a leader for those that really need your leadership. Okay. And that's one of the things that's really lacking right now, I think, in the economy, in the world, is that there's a lot of people that earn positions, but then once they get those positions, they don't know what they should be doing next. They're all over the place. They don't know how to be organized. They don't know how to delegate. They don't know how to set up their schedule in a way that's effective and helps not only their team grow, but help them get a lot more done with the maybe limited resources that they have. And those are the things I'm going to talk about in my emails, and things I know that would have helped me had I been aware of the information before having to just gain the experience through trial and error. And so that's something that I'm going to share with you as well. But those are some of the things that we're going to help you guys out with. If there's any questions that you have, if you have any big challenges related to leadership in your particular area and whatever it is that you do, let me know in the comments. I always go back and read them. I always go back in and respond. And I just want to give you insight and be as much of a resource as I can to you so that there's somewhere you can go to actually help you with some of these questions and concerns, even if you're not getting all of the support and help that you need from your management team, from the person that leads you, from your boss, and whatever corporate company that you're working with. Okay. So that's all I got for today. This is about 23-minute video. So glad that you're here. Please don't forget to like the video, comment on the video. Let me know where you're from. Like I said, two things you can do. Let me know where you're from, and let me know what is the biggest challenge you're facing right now as it relates to leadership in your particular position, in your company, and whatever your industry is. So please make sure you remember to subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on our next video and live stream. I'll talk to you next time. Have a great one.